Hello everyone, my name is Anil Poddar. So today we are going to discuss about unit number 6 processors and pipelining, lecture number 50. Let us go through the contents that we are going to discuss in this video. We are going to discuss about introduction to pipelining principles, and what is a linear pipeline processor. Now let us go through what is pipelining, that is introduction to pipelining. Now, pipeline is an implementation technique where phases of a computer instruction cycle overlap in execution. So, as we know, there are various phases of computer instruction. So, whenever the instruction will be executed, the instruction will be executed in number of phases. So, those three phases are fetch, decode, and execute. These three phases are usually executed in one by one. That is, the instruction will be fetched, then decoded. After decoding, then it will be executed by the compiler. But suppose in pipelining, the instruction, that is fetch, code, and execute, will be executed at a time. Means all the three phases of a single instructions will be executed at the same time. That is called as pipelining. Pipelining is a technique of decomposing a sequential process into sub-operations. That is, whatever the operations a sequential process will be there, it will be decomposed, and each sub-operation or process will be executed in some dedicated segment, and all this process will be executed concurrently. That means at the same time. So if a single instruction, it will be executed fetch, decode, and execute at the same time. Pipeline exploits parallelism among instructions. That is, it uses parallelism mechanism by overlapping the instructions, and also it is called as a instruction level parallelism. That is, two or more instructions can be executed at the same time. That is, two instructions will be executed at the same time. Now suppose if there are two instructions, the decode instruction of the first instruction as well as the decode of the second instruction will be executed at the same time. So that is called as a pipelining. The result obtained from the computation in each segment is transferred to the next segment. So whatever the result that we obtain in the first stage or first segment will be transferred to the next segment. Now whatever the final result will be there, will be passed through all the segments and will get the final result. The name pipeline means flow of information. That is, flowing of information through some segments. Now a pipeline processor usually works based on the following two principles. First one is linear pipeline processor, and the second one is non-linear pipeline processor. We'll go for what is linear pipeline processor. So as you can see, the diagram shows a linear pipeline processor. That is, the data input is fed into the first stage of the pipeline, that is S1. So in linear pipelining, the specialized hardware stages are linearly connected to perform a fixed function. So the stream of data flows from one end to the other end as shown in the figure. So as you can see in the figure, the data input is fed into the first stage. So the process data will be then fed to the S2. After S2, the process data will be fed to the next stage, that is S3, so on up to SK, which is the final stage of the pipeline. After it, we'll get the output of the data. Pipeline can be applied for instruction execution, arithmetic computation, and memory access operations. So this process can be applied for all the three operations. The processor supporting such a hardware architecture is called as a pipeline processor. So pipelining can only be used in some of the hardware architecture. Now A pipeline processor is constructed with k processing stages. As we have seen in the previous diagram, there will k processing stages. Data inputs are given into the pipeline at the first stage. So at the first stage, S1 will give the data input. So whatever the results will be there, the process result will be passed from S1 to S2, and after that S2 to S3, and so on to the last stage SK. After that we will get the output. A specific control mechanism is used to control the data flow along the pipeline stages. So even if the data pass from one stage to another stage, to control that, some mechanism will be used. So based on the control mechanism used, we can classify the pipelines into two pipelines, that is asynchronous pipeline and asynchronous pipeline. So whenever the data is passed from one segment to, that is the data flow is done from one segment to or one stage to another stage, so the control mechanism that we used is based on two methods, that is asynchronous pipeline and synchronous pipeline. So these are the two pipeline methods used for controlling the flow of data from one stage to another stage. First we'll go for asynchronous model. So as you can see, this is the asynchronous pipeline. In asynchronous pipeline model, the data is controlled by handshaking protocol as shown in the figure. That is, as you can see in the figure, when stage S1 is ready to transmit its results. Now you can see here the data input is given to the, that is SI is ready to transmit its results. It sends a ready signal to SI plus 1. Now suppose if we are in a stage S0, so S0 will be ready to transmit its results to ready signal S1, that is S1 stage that it is ready to feed the input into the next stage. When it sends a signal of ready, then the next stage, that is SI plus 1, accepts output of SI as input data. So when it accepts the output of SI data as input data, it returns an acknowledgement signal of to SI. So as you can see in the figure, the S1 stage, it is ready to when the data input is fed into the S1, and when data input sends a ready signal to S1. So when it receives the input, when S1 has received the input from the data input, it will send a acknowledgement signal to the data input saying that it has accepted its input. Similarly, S1 sends the process results to S2 by sending a ready signal, means S1 is ready to send its result to S2. Now when S2 receives a ready signal from S1, it will accept the data from S1 and sends a acknowledgement to S1, that is it sends a acknowledgement saying that it has received its output results. Similarly, it goes up till SK stages. Next one we go for what is synchronous models. So in synchronous models, the data flow between two stages, in between that we use clock high speed latches. That is, in between two stages, that is S1 or S2, clock high speed latches are used as interfaces. So between two stages of pipelining, we use the clock high speed latches. If such a latches are used between two stages, then it is called as a synchronous model. All latches transfer the data to the next stages simultaneously at the falling edge of the clock pulse. So whenever, as you can see in the diagram, whenever input is sent to the first stage, first it will be sent to the clock high speed latches. So when the clock pulse is falling down to the 0 position, the input will be sent to the next stage. When S1 finishes all the results, then it sends the data to the next clock high speed latches between S1 and S2. So it will send the data to S2 only when at the falling edge of the clock pulse. So when there is a falling edge of the clock pulse, it will send the data to the S2. This is about the synchronous model. Now in this video we have discussed about what is pipelining. That is, it is a process in which phases of a computer instruction cycle are overlapped. Principles of pipelining. It is the various principles that we use in pipeline, that is linear and non-linear, and asynchronous and synchronous models. Thank you.